You believe that's legit?
Well, I believe there's a handful of things going on. I think guidance is essentially de-risked. I think what you saw coming out of January earnings, we've actually seen a slight tick up in terms of cloud spending and cybersecurity. And you look at the overall, what I'll call big tech, names like Apple, we haven't seen cuts in iPhone demand. So I think the setup for this earnings season, I view it more of a catalyst for tech rather than something to fear.
I just wonder what that setup's going to look like given what the stocks have done. I mean, they've run so much. So how does that make the setup better going into earnings?
Well, I think there's two things. I think one is that it's still under-owned. I believe 7 of every 10
under-owned? Tech? Big tech?
Look, if we look here what's happened, from an institutional perspective, I think many continue to sort of be naysayers in the rally, and many believe that we've gone too far too quick. And what I'll tell you is from our checks, both from Asia as well as the U.S., I believe we are ultimately seeing what I really view as fundamentals starting to stabilize within enterprise relative to where we saw in January. And I still believe when I go into 23 and 24 numbers, the path's higher, not lower relative to guidance.
What if the Fed is more hawkish than the market wants to believe? That in part, as I discussed with Adam Parker, this rally is due to the idea that the Fed's going to pause, rates have come down, and it's obvious as to why the money continues to flow into this space. What if that's all a fallacy?
Yeah, look, that's definitely an event that would be negative for tech. I think right now it is three-pronged. I mean, one feels like the Fed's handcuffed, 10 years seen its height, and ultimately that is more of the risk-on rally. I also do think you've seen more generalists and even more retail focus more on tech because you don't got to worry Sunday night what the head-on is. So I think you're seeing it, what I'll call is the really, even though it sounds twilight zone, the new safety sector is tech.
Well, as you said, twilight zone, here we go again, right? It was that way a couple of years ago. We're just back to that play again? Ride the 7 biggest stocks in the market and everything else be damned?
Well, I think what I believe is going to happen is as we go throughout earnings, I think that's going to spread more. Mid-cap, I think you're starting to see it in cloud and cybersecurity. Some of these, that I believe could catch up. And look, it goes back to last year, a horrific year, obviously, for tech in 2022. But now you're seeing the cost cuts. You're seeing what I believe is really sort of the setup to, I believe, a tech comeback that's starting to play out.
All right. Tar Heel Blue?
Tar Heel Blue. And look, and I'm just, I believe this is the start of what could be comeback, and I think potential for Tar Heels as well.
Okay. All right. Dan Ives, thank you.